A question I'm often asked by students that don't do media studies is, what is media studies? In this video, I'll be answering that question.
I'm so excited!
Firstly, you are the experts in media.
Okay, really?
Yes, really. The media is TV, movies, video games, social media, all of those forms of mass media communication that we engage with all day and every day.
What's my name?
In media studies, we don't just engage with these forms of media, we look at and analyse different media texts from all of these forms. There are 4 key concepts that we focus on in media studies, and those key concepts are media language, representation, media industries, and audiences. Media language forms the basis of media because certain codes are used to convey a specific message, and the audience interprets the message based on their understanding of the codes. These codes have denotations, the literal meaning of the code, and connotations, the associations with these codes. For example, the denotation is a white dove, and the connotations are love, peace, luck, prosperity, and many more. The codes used in media language are visual codes, which includes colour, location, facial expressions, and clothing, technical codes, and that's camera shots, lighting, and editing, and language codes, which is written language and spoken language. Let's analyse a still image from the movie Get Out. The camera shot is a close-up. It's shot with dark lighting, and the character has tears running down his face, and his mouth is open. These are the denotations. From these denotations, can we work out the connotations and then identify what could be happening? The close-up is used to convey the character's emotions. The dark lighting suggests something sinister and evil, and the tears running down his face could mean that he is crying through fear and worry rather than through sadness. Let's watch a clip and see how this translates through moving image.
You're so scared. You think it was your fault? How do you feel now?
I can't move.
As we identified, because of the dark lighting, something sinister and evil was taking place. We can see from that clip that he is being hypnotised and is frightened and worried because he can't move and probably doesn't know what's happening. So just by looking at a few denotations, we were able to work out and understand the codes and therefore analyse a short movie clip. Representation is where producers of media construct a representation of individuals, groups, issues and events using media language. A theorist named David Buckingham argued that the media do not simply present a picture of the real world. They represent versions of reality by selecting and combining different elements of media language. This is Mark Duggan. Mark Duggan was shot and killed by the police in August 2011. The media portrayed Mark Duggan as a villain. The image on the left is a cropped image of Mark Duggan. The cropped image is what newspapers used to present him as the villain, as his facial expression and hoodie suggests. The picture on the right, however, is the real image of Mark Duggan. As we can see, he is holding a heart and standing at a grave. The grave is his daughter's. This would explain his facial expression. As Buckingham said, media producers select elements of media language to deliver a specific message. And the message they wanted to deliver about Mark Duggan was that he was a villain. Often, individuals are represented based on their gender, age, and ethnicity. These adverts are from the 60s. In the 60s, females were represented as subordinate and inferior to men, weak and only good at domestic duties such as cleaning. The following advert was released in 1980. While you watch it, I want you to think about whether or not the representation of females changed much.
Here. It's all you have to do. Do the shake and back and put the freshness back. Do the shake.
She seems very well aware of how that cleaning product works and is having a lot of fun, which could suggest that cleaning is her hobby. So was there a change in the representation of females? Now we move on to media industries. Media industries include production processes, ownership and funding, technology, and regulation. However, we're only going to look at ownership and funding today. The BBC is a public service which is funded through the TV licence we pay. Therefore, the BBC has a remit to inform, educate, and entertain. This means that all of the programmes they broadcast must fulfil these things. As the BBC is a public service, the BBC should serve the public. Therefore, their documentaries should be broad and balanced, and their fictional shows should have fair representations. Luther is a BBC crime drama. The titular character, a detective, is a black man. Quite often in the media, black men are represented as the criminals. The villain is a female, which indicates that she is not weak, and Luther's boss is also female, which indicates that she is not inferior. The BBC has fulfilled its remit by informing and educating the audience. They have subverted the usual stereotypes and showed us that regardless of your gender and ethnicity, you can fill any role. And finally, let's move on to media audiences. Media audiences are the people who consume media products. Producers need to think about the audience before thinking about media language. They have to think about who they are going to appeal to. Media audiences can be determined by age, gender, interests, and socio-economic group. Let's look at these two magazine covers. Both magazines focus on general popular culture, but each magazine has a different target audience. We can assume that, based on media language and stereotypes, the magazine on the left, Rolling Stone, is aimed at males, while the magazine on the right, Heat, is aimed at females. The colours on the Rolling Stone magazine connote mystery, strength, and power, while the colours on the Heat magazine connote the very opposite. It's very loud and very lively. It has a lot of cover lines and a large number of images, suggesting there is a lot to talk about, which again is a common characteristic associated with females. The Rolling Stone magazine has only one image and very few cover lines, which suggests that maybe not as many things would be covered, but the things covered would be in great detail and heavily researched. The main cover line for Heat magazine is, "The money won't heal my pain." We know that that's gossip. The main cover line for Rolling Stone magazine, however, is about Star Wars, a very popular tentpole film. So like I said earlier, by looking at and understanding codes, we can analyse media texts. The last thing I want you to do is to look at the media language in the following clip and see if you can identify the audience.
It's not much of a life when you're just a pretty face.
Just to be whoever you are is no disgrace. Don't be scared if you don't fit in. Look who's in the reject bin. It's the Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Dolls like you and me. Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Made him